Rockstar Games are hoping to lift the beta tag from Red Dead Online in the coming months. This is a really serious topic because that means they're confident in a few months with the state online's going to be in. Are you confident for online at the moment? I'm not. Let's analyse their plan that they've confirmed so far for the coming months and really think about this, because everyone says they have a plan, have faith in Rockstar Games, but it's pretty tough. So let's analyse that and take a look at exactly what Rockstar are going to do to improve this online experience before it's too late. Because let's be honest, we all care about this game and we want it to succeed. Welcome back, Bandits. I'm Red Bandit, and today we're talking about the Red Dead Online Businesses and Houses update that we should be expecting hopefully sometime this year. Now, this update is of course unconfirmed by Rockstar Games, but it's something that Rockstar Games know the community want from Red Dead Online, and I have some more details about Red Dead Online coming to an end as the beta as we know it. So an important video today with some important details. Now let's get started on the latter part right there that I just said. So the Red Dead Online beta is indeed coming to an end in the way that we know it. Now Rockstar Games stated on the latest update on their Newswire for Red Dead Redemption 2 that they hope the beta tag for Red Dead Online will be lifted sometime in a few months. Now what exactly does that mean? Well, when they say in a few months, this is Rockstar Games we're talking about. Rockstar Games said that heists were coming soon, and then heists were coming in a few months for GTA Online, but the heists didn't release for a year or two after the release of GTA 5 on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, primarily because they wanted to wait until the next generation had released and therefore capitalize on that market. However, with Red Dead Online, with the beta tag being lifted coming soon, I think it's pretty accurate that we take their word for what they're saying. And the reason for that is very simple, but a lot of people won't realize it has such an impact, and that is going to be the stock market. Now, Take-Two Interactive are the parent company of Rockstar Games. Rockstar Games are not on the stock market as a sole company. Of course, Take-Two Interactive are the company that own Rockstar Games, and Rockstar Games produce the games, and Take-Two Interactive deal with everything else like so. So, of course, if you analyse the chart for Take-Two Interactive stock over the last year, you can see that it's fallen dramatically, and a lot of investors are relying on big developers that are part of Take-Two Interactive to generate a lot of this revenue in order to drive sales and shares upwards and create a bullish movement there on the market. Now, what's interesting is that because of this huge dip and decline in sales and also lots of bad feedback to a lot of games lately, these sales have gone down a lot. And not only for Take-Two Interactive, but for a lot of gaming companies altogether. Now, what's so significant about this is that Rockstar Games are relied on by Take-Two Interactive to, of course, earn a huge amount of profit for Take-Two Interactive. When we analyse GTA 5 earning $1 billion in 24 hours, that is a huge amount of money. That is a huge amount of money. And that is a huge amount of money for investors and also for the stock market. So when Rockstar Games state they're going to release or lift this beta tag, that is extremely important that they stick to it with the current way the market is. That's my analysis anyway, and that's the analysis people have been making online, and I believe that to be an accurate description of why we should believe what they're saying is true. So why is this significant? Well, Rockstar Games have confirmed that the upcoming updates for Red Dead Online are limited blips on the radar, as in proximity blips and things like that. They also said that there'll be a lot more free mode events coming to the game and various activities and missions, bonuses, so on and so forth. So of course, when these get added to Red Dead Online, that's not quite enough to justify the beta tag being lifted. I hope that what Rockstar Games mean by the beta coming to an end is that there is a considerable amount of content that they're happy with and happy to leave it in that state for an extended period of time. When you analyse Red Dead Online at this current time, in the fashion that it is and in the form that it is, do you feel confident that they would feel confident themselves leaving the beta as it is? Well, of course they wouldn't. Red Dead Online at the moment is primarily running around on your horse, hunting animals, killing players, and that is as much variety as you can get in Red Dead Online at the current time. Adding new weapons and outfits is possibly the best thing out of this list, because adding proximity blips, better payouts and more missions isn't exactly going to cut that beta tag free free completely. I don't think that's enough content to leave the game with and say that you're happy and confident that that's going to be successful. Before Rockstar Games remove this beta tag, they really need to be confident that A, the player base is going to stay and return for reoccurring updates. B, they also need to ensure that they're getting shark card and gold bar sales, and at the current time with the content that's in there, that is no way to justify buying them. I don't know anyone that's really actually seriously bought them apart from the deals that were on a few weeks ago, but no one I know has actually purchased these gold bars seriously unless they were, trying to do it because they didn't have enough time to play the game. And finally, of course, they're not going to lift that beta tag until they get positive feedback from the players. And every single YouTuber right now on YouTube, you're talking about all of the YouTubers that covered news for the game before it came out, and all of the people that have exploded since it was released are all chatting bad about the experience. With GTA Online, it was never in a beta form, but there was never a lack of content. I will admit that at the start of GTA Online, there was only a few cars, missions, and houses, but that's a huge amount more than what Red Dead Redemption 2 has right now with its online experience. Not to mention that also money was easy to earn, cash cards weren't as important, and it just wasn't as boring to ride around hunting animals. You actually had variety to do. You had gangs to create, you had missions to play, enemies to kill, bounties to hunt. You have none of that in Red Dead Online, and that is why I don't believe at the current time, even with these promised updates in the near future, they're going to be confident enough to lift that beta tag. So now let's get into what they could add and what they should add to make this experience a lot better. This is going to be some constructive criticism, and I want you guys to actually discuss that down below as well. I think the first thing they're tackling is these proximity blips, and that's going to tie into my first point, which is reducing the amount of griefing and encouraging players to work together like they do in GTA Online. Now, being part of a posse in Red Dead 2 of course allows you to earn more money for doing missions, but there is a lack of missions altogether, so you're kind of giving someone one ability and restricting them from the other. The seesaw, the scale, whatever you want to call it, is completely unbalanced, so they need to add more missions and they need to add more incentive to work together, much like VIPs and biker gangs in GTA Online. Hopefully, with these new changes to posses that they could add to the game, it would actually give players an incentive to go around the world and do various activities, such as holding up banks, stores, so on and so forth. But at the moment, you can't even rob shops online, which again is another huge red flag that there is a lack of content and ability of freedom. It almost feels like you're in a separate universe from the single player, which is of course another red flag once again. Another thing they need to add is the ability and the purpose for creating outfits and of course the upgrades for things that you can get. The weapon upgrades cost way too much money, the clothes cost too much money, and there's no actual incentive to purchase that clothing or those other things like that, as well as horses as well. They need to reduce the griefing, and they are tackling that with the proximity blips that will allow you to see players that are more violent from a much further distance and also only see players that are near you. However, I don't believe that that will necessarily tackle these griefers. GTA Online actually got it right at the start where they had the bad sport lobbies. The bad sport lobbies were a little bit over the top. You could get put in it just for blowing up a few cars. I don't think that is the way that it should work, but I do believe that in Red Dead Online, if you're going around killing the same player over and over again, and that player isn't retaliating, then you should become wanted, you should get a red blip. And another issue that's going on at the moment is losing honor for killing a player who's killing you. If a player shoots at you and then you shoot back and kill them, you lose the honor for that. Rockstar Games need to make it so that if you didn't shoot first, you don't lose honor for defending yourself. And that's a really, really easy way they could program that with this proximity, and the same way they did it in GTA Online with the mental state, if any of you were aware of that. That's something they really need to incorporate into this game, and maybe even allow a bad sport lobby of sorts for players that disagree with the rules and completely go off the radar. Now, the ability to have a passive mode is subject to debate. They could add a passive mode that allows players to only shoot animals, which would then tackle players being killed all the time while they're trying to hunt, and I think that could be a really interesting way to play the game. Now, I agree that passive mode is it's kind of a hit and miss way to play the game. Some people agree with passive mode, and some people think it's the worst addition to the game altogether. They say you're a chicken for using it, so on and so forth, but if you've got a player griefing you, Maybe Rockstar Games need to add this passive mode ability, or maybe even add passive lobbies where players can actually go in and have the ability to change into passive mode and still allow each other to shoot each other. But of course the passive mode will help people that are hunting, because most of the time I see people complaining that they're getting killed while they're trying to hunt and gather resources, so on and so forth. They also really need to add lots more businesses, houses, and ways to make money. Fishing and hunting is not going to be acceptable for much longer, especially, like I say, all of these reasons for the purpose of them lifting the beta tag. Rockstar Games simply cannot lift that beta tag if we continue to just simply go around fishing and hunting for our entire experience. It's extremely tedious, it's extremely boring, and sitting at the side of a lake with a fishing rod only to ride about a mile or two that takes about 10 minutes to a butcher and sell that over and over again isn't a fun experience whatsoever. Again, like I said, we need the ability to hunt bounties, do more missions, and play lots of businesses and things that happen in the free mode. So I think the only positive thing out of that list so far is the new weapons and clothing. But what new weapons are Rockstar Games going to add, and what sort of clothing are they going to add as well? And when will they release it? Are the most important questions at this current time to finding out really if Rockstar Games do have a plan, as people say. Everyone's saying Rockstar Games have a plan, they have a plan, but at the moment they have no plan whatsoever. They seem to be just winging it until they hope they get it right, which is a shame. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's discussion, conversation, whatever you want to call it. Please let me know what you think down below and post your ideas. Let's get these ideas flowing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay cool, stay awesome, and adios.